What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to do our first mock draft, the first 3 rounds. The Lions have 4 picks. Like, this is the time. This is go time.
It's already mock draft time.
Yes. And
this is great.
When you have high picks and you have you have 2 first-round picks, there's nothing better than a mock draft. It's like the greatest thing ever. No, so we're just going to go back and forth on our picks, explain what we're thinking, what we're seeing. Obviously, things will change, but this is our first mock draft, and this is what it looks good on paper to us. So let's do it. So, Craig, with the number 2 pick, who do you have? So tell us who goes 1 and then who goes 2, because assuming you would probably need to, you assume one thing and then
here's the one thing that's kind of interesting about this year that's not interesting about other years is who goes number 1.
Right.
Like, you don't know. I think it's pretty safe right now that it's between 2 guys until one of these quarterbacks pops off at the combine or on his pro day and just his measurables are out of control. And then all of a sudden the team falls in love with him. And then, oh my goodness, is someone traded into the number 1 spot? But here's what I think. The Jaguars definitely don't need a quarterback. We know that. They used their number 1 pick for that last year with Lawrence. What I think they're going to do, because they're the Jaguars, they like the shiny piece. Right. So I think they're going to go for the athletic freak. I think they're going to go Thibodeau personally. And also that just works into what I want, because I want to go Hutchinson at number 2. And I think some of that's loyalty because I love Michigan. But at the same time, I like Hutchinson because he can do a little bit of everything. He's going to rush the passer well, but he plays the run tremendously well. So he can set the edge. And we've even seen him at Michigan have such amazing awareness, whether it's on a screen pass, whether it's out in the flat. Like, there are so many times where he even gets a hand in the passing lane as well. I think he's about as well-rounded of a defensive end that you could hope for. I'm not saying he's a Bosa yet, which pains me to say because Bosa's our Ohio State boys, but man, the guy has skill and he could be a next level defensive end. Yeah, for sure. Got to go DN number 1, I think.
Okay.
Or number 2, I guess.
Number 2. Yep. First pick at the end. Okay. For me at number 2, I kind of just have it opposite. I think the Jaguars, because of their problems and their whatever, I think they're going to hire a professional, NFL guy, and they're going to bring in an NFL Hutchinson mindset culture builder. And then I think we take Thibodeau. At number 2, I don't love him.
Are you happy about that?
No, I don't love him. Just for the things you said, he can't set the edge. I don't feel like he's just like a D lineman. I think he's just a real nice, just a hot piece to come around. He's just like this great thing that, like you said, sparkly, and he's got all the measurables. But I looked at some other options.
He does have Von Miller measurables, so I guess that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, the guys. I mean, right? We're talking about him 1-2 here, like. And that's what I came back to was I looked at Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. I looked at there's a tackle that's real high, but at the end of the day, don't overthink.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton, that was interesting. I almost pulled the trigger there. Yeah, but number 2.
And there's a great article on Pride of Detroit where they just talk about, if you're gonna do that, a safety has to be just, I mean, unlike anything you've ever seen, because the DN can just impact the line of scrimmage a lot more, and it just go with the DN. So that's where I go. With number 2, I think the Lions taking Thibodeau.
You ready for Craig trivia? Random Craig trivia, because he hears a bunch of stuff. When was the last time a safety was taken in the top 5? Fact checkers, don't fact check me. I heard this on another podcast.
I have no idea.
30 years. 30 years. Bill Belichick of the Cleveland Browns. Bill Belichick. So, I mean, crazy amount of time ago, 30 years ago. Don't ask me who the safety was. I'm just saying it's hard to do that pick at number 2.
Yep. So we take one of the 2 DNs. Don't overthink it. We need it.
Don't overthink it.
Let's just do it. Okay. So then we've got the Lions picking. We picked number 31. We don't know where we're going to be exactly just yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
With the 31st pick, who do you have the Lions taking?
I don't know if he's still going to be there, but this is the first mock draft. So a boy can dream, right? Like, I can hope and I can want Nakobe Dean still to be there from Georgia. The guy is a beast. He's a good player. He has sideline to sideline speed. He can defend the pass pretty well. He can rush the passer. Like, he just seems to me to be that just phenomenal middle linebacker in a place that we clearly have a hole. I mean,
Right.
right now we just did a thing, keep them or let them go between Jalen Reeves-Maybin and Alex Anzalone. And it's just like, well, that's your options. Like it would be really good. And I do think with these first 2 picks, it makes all the sense in the world to go defense back to back. 100%. Our offense is in a really good spot as far as talent goes outside wide receiver. And so get a couple of surefire picks on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. I went with the same one. I think we're wishful thinking, hoping, because I continue to see him rise. I think people are just really valuing that linebacker, that fast linebacker is just a nice thing to have. But the only thing I would say is if all these quarterbacks can really start jumping up and people just get, if we have one quarterback go in the first round, that's not going to be good. But if we have 5 of them go, Nakobe Dean could be there.
Could still be sitting there.
Yeah. So right now, hey, until we really dig in and find out otherwise, we got Nakobe Dean going 31st overall to the Lions.
Yeah. Oh, and linebacker is a position where a lot of teams use a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round pick on it too. So it wouldn't shock me to see him stick around, but it also wouldn't shock me to see him go 16 either.
Exactly. Literally,
you don't know. We're going to learn so much more, but this is our hopeful. This is the first round. Let's go.
We got to exactly. So then pick 34, we're going to be in the 2nd round here. So, a couple picks later, who do you have us taking just 3 picks later?
Okay, this is where I'm going to get a little weird on you. Yeah. So because we had that extra 1st round pick, and this essentially is a 1st round pick. I mean, it's the 2nd pick of the 2nd round. I'm going to go different, and I'm going to say that we didn't have 5 quarterbacks go, and we're going to start looking to, all right, who's our guy after Jared Goff? And I'm going to look Cam Ritter out of Cincinnati here. I'm thinking this might be a decent time to pull the quarterback off the board. I thought about going wide receiver, but all the way back to LA, and now he's proving it in Detroit. Safety and wide receiver is something Brad Holmes doesn't pick super early in drafts. He likes to save that for the 3rd, 4th rounds. So I think maybe he keeps with that trend, and maybe it's a good time to go quarterback here. It seems like a weird spot to take a quarterback, but you never know. If you're going to let Goff be a quarterback for another year or 2, it might allow Cam Ritter to at least step in and be the Goff equivalent on a cheap contract. Yeah,
no, and that's going to be the question all throughout the offseason into the draft. Do we take a quarterback at the end of the 1st or I don't know. We'll talk about that more. But so for me, I take Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State, wide receiver, 34th pick.
Okay.
So it's him, Chris Olave, Drake Landon. I think it's London, but
out of USC.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So like you said, there's that linebacker, wide receiver, and a 1st round sweet spot that I always say this, but you always see the Steelers pick up at like 25, somebody that you're like, oh my God, really? And that's where I think
Patriots.
These franchises are always kind of good that just get these guys like, and I think this is the perfect sweet spot for one of those elite wide receivers. Okay. And I think I could go a couple different ways, but I just love solidifying our offense with a rookie stud wide receiver to partner up with St. Brown. But I'm with you. I think Brad Holmes really obviously knows what he's doing, and he really can look at the depth more than we can. Look at the depth of the draft of wide receivers, and we may go a different direction and get wide receiver later. But those seem like kind of blue chip wide receiver type, like big time guys that could be there at that time.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to, I don't think that's a horrible pick at all. I think honestly, if you see a wide receiver where you're like, hey, he's the guy, and we have an early to mid 1st round grade on him, and he's sitting there at 34, then you take him. Mm-hmm. I think you take him over a quarterback that could possibly be your quarterback of the future. And let me just say, I picked Ritter here at 34. I don't love my pick. I don't love the idea of taking a quarterback where it's like, a lot of things have to go right in order for him to be really good, Right. And and he is a guy that it would take time because, he was at Cincinnati. There wasn't a lot of big time games there. You can argue that with me all you want, but there wasn't. I mean, there were 2 big time games on the schedule this year, and that's it. And he showed up for one of them. He showed up for one of them. And so maybe, but I like your pick there too. There's just a handful of wide receivers, and I'm really going to have to jump into the film to see which one of those guys is, because I want an outside receiver. I don't want another 5'11", 6-foot receiver that's similar. I mean, another Amon-Ra St. Brown wouldn't be bad. I'm just saying a 6'3" outside receiver would be nice.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And then in the third round, this is our last pick that we're going to do. Third round,
66, right?
Pick in the third round, number 66. Who do you have them taking?
This is where I go wide receiver. Okay. All right, if you end up going quarterback, I'm going to be like, what quarterback are you taking? But I'm going to go Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama. And it's a weird little pick, and it's just one of those things is his tape. He kind of pops on his tape. He's a good receiver. And I don't think there's that far of a gap between a guy like him and exactly who you were talking about, like the Londons of the world and the Olaves, even though Olave was unbelievably productive at Ohio State. So is Wilson, but I don't know how big of a difference there are between those. And so I think that there's a good value in the pick if you wait till 66 to go wide receiver.
I love that too. And I love those. I think third round, fourth round for wide receivers, safety. That's why I think we're in a good spot this draft. But yeah, I totally agree. I love that. I love that pick. So for me, I went Lewis Sign. I hope I'm saying his last name right, but he's a Georgia safety. Junior came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess what caught my eye was just ever since we got steamrolled by Georgia and I'm like,
oh, okay. Did we? I don't remember that. Thanks.
I'm like, okay, they do have some players. I'll shut up. Yeah. So, yeah. Again, just a safety. This is just athletic. The thing I like about him, and I think what I would love to see us do is just err on the side of athletic and just, hopefully, because I think our coaches have shown, and I love it, is that we can coach you up, develop you. We're going to put you in a good spot.
Yep.
I can't remember who you and I were talking about. Oh, Lemonnier. Right.
Oh, like, yeah.
Who is he? Who
is that guy?
He's getting sacks because we're blitzing. We're weird. We're trying stuff. It's like, give me an athletic guy. I think I trust our coaches more than ever, because remember in the Patricia era, it was, no, don't give, I want safe. I will. It's like,
we're going to draft you to fit our system. And even then you don't fit our system.
No.
But if you can't do exactly what we're asking you to do, you're out of here. Like what we're doing now is so much better. Now we just have to hope Aaron Glenn doesn't get picked off as a head coach somewhere. Like we get another year.
Oh, we need Aaron Glenn to say, you nailed it. It's like, we're going to draft you in our system, but you're not going to fit our system. We're going to trade you, disrupt the locker room. We don't. Oh, just terrible. So anyway, I love our picks. I love our thoughts. And, that's the whole thing is Brad Holmes and his team are looking at the depth of these positions. And that's when we'll know right away in those first couple picks, like, okay, there must be depth at wide receiver. We didn't take one yet, or we think this, because like you said, he doesn't take wide receivers early, but if he does, that means, okay, Olave must be for real if he just took Olave. So there's a lot to watch and be fun.
There's a lot to consider. And I think too, I'll say this now, there's going to be more of these mock drafts that we're going to put out. Like this is too much fun not to do that. And we're going to be seeing them as they go. Different people are going to project different players here. So you're going to be seeing other ones. And I think what we'll end up doing a lot of the time is you'll start to see player breakdowns with the guys that we're picking here too. So don't be surprised to start seeing some of these videos popping up, and we're excited about doing that. Now's the season, right? Now's the season to go to the tape. You go to the tape, you watch the film, and by watch film, I mean, you look at their highlights on YouTube and you get to see who you like. I mean, you have to pass the eye test when these things happen too. It's not just about the numbers, and we don't have a lot of the numbers right now. That's going to come later, and we're going to find out like, maybe Jalen Tolbert is not as fast as I thought he was out of South Alabama. Right. And things will change drastically come that time, but just looking forward to this offseason. Have you ever been, Chris, more excited for an offseason for the Lions?
No, truthfully. No, never.
We got some money to spend.
We've got, I think what I'm most excited about is last offseason, we did it right. We were patient. Yep. We didn't re-sign Galladay. That was the right move. We didn't go out, we did a bunch of 1-year deals. We just had to kind of right the ship. And so now I think Brad Holmes, especially, it's one thing too to sit through a season like that like Brad Holmes is up there and wherever he's at in his suite. And you know, he's just thinking, no way, man. I'm not letting
not
us
again.
No, not going to do this because we were undermanned in so many games. And you could tell coaching wise, we had some good things going. But at the end of the day, man, if you just don't have some players. So I just think Brad Holmes is like, now we go. So
now we go. It's go time. They're going to try and get some W's this year for sure.
Yep. So I'm excited about that. And then, we'll do some more mock drafts, just like 1 through 10 or full first round. I think that'd be good too, just to get
absolutely.
So other fan bases or whatever can watch and see what we think. But
we want to show them some love too. We're going to do some trade back scenario mock drafts, all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, it'll be great. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. And
thank you.
We'll be back with more. And then
be loyal.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out our channel. Craig's been doing breakdowns of possible trade situations for the Pistons. So if you're into the Pistons, that is just really good
out there.
Yeah, the rumor mill is swirling. So check it out. We will be back with more videos, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.